Stop.
Antonio Bertoli was my dear friend in Florence for about 10 years while he had City Lights Italia, which is his own project with Marco Cassini. They started the bookstore together, and then Marco Cassini, when he had a falling out and they split up, Marco Cassino went to Rome and started Minimum Facts, a publisher. And Antonio continued with the City Lights Italia, and it became a great mecca for the avant-garde and for the political left in Florence, which wasn't a very big left as far as I could tell. And so he was essentially a theater man, Antonio was. And so he was just attracted by the possibilities of what the City Lights Italia could do. So besides having a bookstore, he published books, edited and published books, very avant-garde books, including a lot of the French avant-garde, including Artaud, and published them as City Lights Italia imprint. And he was also, as a theater man, he was more interested in doing events and spectacles of poets, and so he organized a great tour that we had about 10 or 12 poets, most of whom were American beat poets and some Italian poets, and then there was that polyglot Jack Hirschman, and Aggie was in the tour. Anyway, we went on this great bus tour where we read in about 6 cities in a matter of 10 days, starting in Torino and going south all the way to Calabria. And we didn't have to sleep in the bus because Antonio was so smart. As a theater man, he had arranged with the Chamber of Commerce of each of the cities for us to be put up in the grandest hotels in town. So we would stay in these grand hotels, and then we'd go on in the bus to the next town, but we didn't have to sleep in it. And so after that, he was drinking too much Sambuco. Sambuco is what did it, man. And I remember when a reading that came a couple of years later in Poggibonsi. In Poggibonsi, Giada was there as a translator, Giada Diano, and we stayed in a hotel, a big luxurious villa that Antonio had arranged us to stay in. It was a villa that was completely empty except for us, and Antonio was swearing off of Sambuco just then. And I don't know, I lost track of him for about at least 15 years after that. I know he sent me an invitation to he got married to his German girlfriend. I think she was half Italian. And they had a splendiferous wedding somewhere in Tuscany. And but I couldn't go. And then after that, I didn't hear from him again until I hear he's dead. I had just sent him a copy of New Directions published a book that was first published by Antonio. It was a book of mine called Lorenzo Chiera, and it's a medieval Italian poet that I discovered in Testaccio, which is a working class district in Rome. And so I translated with the help of an Italian translator in Florence named Massimiliano Chiamenti. And we translated the poems of Lorenzo Chiera in a City Lights Italia edition. And just 2 years ago, I sent a copy of it to New Directions, my publisher in New York, and they accepted it. And so it just came out 3 months ago, and I sent a copy to Antonio, whom I hadn't been in touch with for at least 15 years. And I got an email from him saying, I just received the New Directions edition of Lorenzo Chiera, and it's a beautiful edition. I'm so happy to have it. And he didn't say a word about having cancer or that he was sick at all. And a week later, he was dead.